I think like what we would like to talk about today is in this new pandemic world, to help people stay fit and
Yeah,
healthy,
yeah.
with all these changes and all
Yeah.
these external stresses upon them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we, as a friend and well-wisher, like we've known, like that you've managed to accomplish some of that, and we
Yes.
would like to kind of talk about your experiences and like help other people stay fit and healthy.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
think like first and foremost, I think let's talk about the hypothesis or the problem here is as a lot of people are transitioning into this whole working from home lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
where like there's unreasonable expectation on people to like stay online all the time, respond like in real time,
Yeah.
and there's not much of a distinction between work and personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I've realized also personally is that you are much more drained and exhausted by the end of the day compared to like what it were during like the regular 9 to 5, where we travel to the office,
Yes.
do the work, and then come back and relax at home. So this kind of brings up an interesting challenge on people trying to stay healthy, trying to stay fit, because they don't have the motivation
Mm-hmm.
nor the energy in themselves to like do any of those activities.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping that in mind, like we would like to hear your thoughts on this and how people could kind of organize themselves or create these schedules or like a framework to operate.
Mm.
So yeah, take
So
take it
yeah,
away.
yeah, for sure. So one of the things, like like you said, it's the same issues that where you're referring to, Ramana. It's the same issues that I ran into for a long time. You know what I mean? All my life, I would say that it's the same issue that I've been trying to solve all the time. How do I stay in shape and get my
Hmm.
body to do what I want to do and still enjoy my life and do the work and not get stressed out and get have essentially a good body, a sexy body
Exactly.
or
Yeah,
a body that you can do things with, have fun,
exactly.
like so that the problem that you're referring to, it's a problem that since I was ended university, that I also struggle myself a long time, and then and then um and then I started to do, very, like in March, when I started to do what I actually thought for me that was very effective. Um, when I started this program, specifically this program, it involves basically, following specific techniques like, we will talk about, but also involves a lot of, changing the mindset, changing the perceptions about my body, and also changing the perceptions of other bodies, other people's bodies, and things like that. But we'll get
Because the
into that.
mental game is like half of the game, right? Like
I
50%
would
of the game
say
is like building
you
that
will see,
mental.
once you started to get the mental game, you start to see it's more mental than physical to begin with. But in the
Hmm.
beginning,
Hmm.
you had to find it at the physical level. Okay, so I'll tell you, I'll get into that. But the thing is, when I started again, I was about 229 pounds. I was vegetarian, but I was gaining weight. So it makes no sense to me. But that's why it was. I was eating at nighttime and stuff like that. And yeah, so I didn't really have, I would say, a workout program or anything in March. I was actually mentally was not in a good place. I wasn't working at that time too much. I was working on, building up this, website and things like that, but nothing in terms of like a continuous income, or to be, to feel like that
Hmm.
I'm doing something productive and making money from that.
Hmm.
So I was feeling a lot of stress and things like that. So what are the things I started to do is I was watching a lot of basketball and things like that. So I decided, like, man, like, look at these basketball players. They get to do what they love to do, and also have the bodies they have, right? So
Hmm.
I was like, wow,
Hmm.
that's amazing. So I made the decision, you know what? I was around 229 pounds. I didn't have anything much to lose or anything. So I was like, why don't I put everything I know about, losing weight, creating a better body, and everything I know, and then see if I can eventually, maybe in about 5 6 years, to turn my body into a basketball player's body, right?
Hmm.
So
That's a
that's,
very interesting challenge.
yeah, I gave my enough time for myself. You see, I didn't try to do
Hmm.
that like essentially like this year. Like, when you see most people, I feel they're like, no, I want to get a sexy body, I want a good body, I want a durable body, I want a strong body immediately.
So
That's
why
the
what kind of made you like decide on like a longer time frame
very
than
good
like,
question.
trying to like do it really quickly?
Because I failed a lot of the time, and the short term goal.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, bro. To be honest, I was like, nah, this guy's not getting it done short term. To be honest, I'm not. I'm being honest with you. The reason I did it, I was like, you know what? I'll make it as long as possible. So throughout time, I'm going to take the time and build a better body. So that's what I started to come across things like, yeah, just focus on building a body for about 5 years. So then you would have a better body for all those throughout 5 years, rather than getting in immediately and try to keep it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
So you're not only like removing the pressure from like that whole process, but also like elongating the effects or the benefits
absolutely,
of that
absolutely.
journey.
Because that's actually more in line with how the body likes to be built, right? So that's what I started to realize. So following this program, I wanted to go about like 180 pounds, right? That was my goal around initially, to lose about 50 pounds over 5 years or so, because that would have made me feel good. What ended up happening, actually, I was able to lose about 60 pounds in about 8 months, right? So which was interesting to me, because this is the easiest I've ever lost weight and got into shape compared
So
to any that.
what do you think like that happened there? Like, I mean,
I'll tell you.
what was
I just
like
want to
the
give you like a picture of what happened, like
Mhm.
what initially, like in terms of like the background, so you can see like the mindset was to take a long time. Because I took a long-term mindset, my body was not under duress. It allowed me to, I feel, to accomplish the result a lot more quicker, because I was doing what's actually good for the body. You see what I mean? Without pressure, I wasn't doing with trying to mentally like, we need to lose weight now, and I'm going to put the body at any pain and suffering to get that happen. Rather than, it was like, no, let me work with the body to make it happen. Because if you look at the placebo effect, if you look at all the things, how our body, it has a tremendous capability to recover itself. Why don't we support that? So that's when I started to, like, when I was looking and going into my own content and researching about that, I started to take on this approach. You see what I mean? I started to see, what if my responsibility is not tell the body what to do, but work with the body to get things to do with together. You see what I mean? If I realize that, okay, I want to play basketball, if I go, I play basketball when I'm 220 pounds, my ligaments are not strong, my body's not, and if I go play competitively, it's going to break apart. I'm not working with the body to
Right.
go play all the time. I should be doing simple squats, simple workouts that you can do. So that's when I started to introduce things like what I call the 30-90 DNA trainer and things like that, where you basically introduce things like activity that make your body more durable, right? So I'll talk to you about that, what are the phases of that was. But in terms of giving you a little the background I wanted to give you, yeah, the results came a lot more quicker. But the results was not the orientation, not the goal. The result came, I would say, I made the body or whatever to work with the body and build a better body together, rather than trying to put the body in place and say, no, you need to get this done and you need to be able to do that. It came, okay, let me work with the body to build a better body together. So that way we be able to do together whatever we decide to do together. You know what I mean? So that led me to the next realization. Maybe then I need to create a durable body, not a body that is lost weight, not a body that is strong, not a body blah, 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 body that is durable. What's the definition of durability? A body that can handle anything. Weather, cold, corona, no corona, basketball players, doesn't matter which sport, doesn't matter. This is the mindset. I was like, well, if the body cannot do and is not durable enough to do what I want to do, well, it needs to be worked on. Because I see that, like, the prime example, I realized that the durable body is a possibility. I started to see like what the stress and things like that these sports athletes putting their bodies through, right? They have games every other day, but they keep coming and then keep smashing onto each other's body, and then they come and keep playing. How are they able to do that?
Right.
And then normal human beings have a hard time sitting down and have back pain,
I
right?
think like, I mean, just to kind of like add to what you were saying is, so it's more important for you to keep enjoying this experience
Yes.
more than like peaking at once and then,
And I'll tell you
that is
how to
it.
make it enjoyable also, right? The most important aspect is that the transition from looking at the body in a way that you become a builder with the body is key. But the next aspect comes, oh, that's great, dude. Like, what do I build it towards? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I will come, I want to talk about. But the key aspect of it, I would say, having the mindset, oh, we should take on use the body to build something together with it, right? That's one of the main aspects. Because the way the perception I have, your body is where you can, put skills, put abilities, and things like that. But if your body has like disabilities in terms of not like, I'm talking about like, you know, disability, like permanent disabilities in terms I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about that you can move, you have low energy and things like that, like it disables from
Like
activating.
disadvantages.
Yeah, so that means you cannot activate your full potentiality, right? So what I
Mm-hmm.
say, build a body that can help you do whatever you want. That's the aspect. So the next thing, okay, well, great, I get what you're saying, Doig, but what about I don't know how to do that, right? How I don't know the technique, I don't know where to start, anything like
That's
that.
the
So
$1,000,000 question.
exactly that's so this is where people need to, I would say they do need to reconnect what they find joyous, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are many ways I found joyous, right? So every person, in my opinion, love some sort of sport, right? If you don't love sport, then you need to start to make more friends and start, see what sport, a sport that you can get along with, right? Or you start
Mm-hmm.
watching or start to enjoy. But I would say, in if you look at anybody in their life, there's always a person, always some sort of a sport, right? For example, I know you, Ramanan, personally likes a lot of, football, soccer, and also a
Mm-hmm.
lot of tennis, right? So I would say, why don't you find an athlete that you want to look in about another 5 6 years? What do you admire?
Right.
It doesn't need to be, oh my God, I need to put everything to look like him. No, nothing like that. He has what you want, work towards it. Work with your mind and the body towards that, right? So, okay, now you have now you have an idol. Now you have something to go. Okay, now look into what does he usually eat? Does he
Mm-hmm.
eat certain food? Does he eat, like, does he do exercises? Okay, maybe like, oh my God, he does 3 hours a day exercise. Well, should I be doing that? No, not right away. First thing, can you do 5 minutes of what he does? Right? How about 10 minutes? Can you do that? Right? So the first thing is, again, because you're in a continuous mode of building a better body. It's never like, oh my God, other person have a good body and I have a shitty body, so I should feel bad. That's unworthiness. That's unnecessary. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? That's not gonna help, not gonna make you help a better build. It's about literally putting yourself and accumulating the reps and the exercises or whatever you want to call it, and continuously applying to it continuously. But the thing is, now comes to the point. Okay, now I have now have an idol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I have an idea what kind of activity take, but how do I organize it that I can use this to create a durable body or where I want to go? Well, again, come say that hypothetically you're Suraman and one of your favorite players, Roger Federer, right?
Roger Federer, exactly, man. You got it.
Nice, nice. So one of the things I would say, one of the personally, I'm a big proponent of what you would call light interval training, not
Mm-hmm.
high intensity interval training, which is a derivation of it. What light
Okay,
interval?
just give me a little bit of like definition of both of them.
Yeah,
So
for
what's
sure.
light interval training versus high intensity?
Absolutely. So high interval training involves basically outputting your effort to the maximum level, right? Like literally, like within 30 seconds or so, you just empty out your tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely. And then you break. 30 seconds you do that, and 90 seconds you break, right? But light interval training is that you still do the activity, but you do it about 60 to 80% of your max capacity. So
Mm-hmm.
you never go out to empty that you cannot do any more after 30 seconds. This way you can still go more than 30 seconds, but the only difference is that it's a lot more lighter on your body, a lot more friendlier in your body.
But
Okay,
does
so
that mean also like there's more iterations or reps with like light interval
exactly.
training?
Exactly, because this way, because you're not exhausting your body all the time, this way just improves your body movement. You see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So what you do is like after you do interval training, high intense interval training for about 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets, you might be out. I mean, depending on your obviously physical condition. But light interval training, you should be eventually what you do, you will do 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3, you know. So because it's so light, your body is never exerted to the point that it's damaged. But you're still doing activity, you're out, you know, you're using up calories, you're strengthening your bones and your muscles. Why? Because you're creating a durable body. Well, now think about how farmer works out versus a person who are continuously like hurt their body and getting injured. A farmer doesn't go more than what he can do because he has to do it every day, right? But imagine the strength they have in their bodies. I can tell you, you know, when I used to play rugby, you know, playing against city boys like us, and then going and playing on those tourney against farmer boys, we can't compete with them. It's a lot different. We hit them a lot harder in the beginning, but as the game goes by, they just overpower us.
So there's a durability factor there.
Over and over again. This is the type of body I'm a big proponent of. So I'll tell you
so
again.
like light interval training is like more geared towards like, you know, durability and like the higher number of repetitions, like help condition the body better and like make it more durable, versus short burst high interval training might give you like more strength, but then you might not be able to hold it on.
You will
for
waste
like
your body often. You know, you use your body and your energy systems too often. This way you keep first, because this, I would say what you do with the light interval training in the beginning for like first two months or so, it will help you build a durable body for you to introduce more high interval training that I will be teaching you how to do properly. You see what I mean? So because your body will like, oh my God, it's so strong. I want to go harder now. It will crave for it. It will crave for it. Then you go.
Right.
Then you go. Not before. That means your body know, okay, I feel tight. I feel like I want to like go at it, you know? Then you go like, okay, let's go high interval training now. Right? Then you do it. Right? But before that.
I'm taking some notes here.
Yeah, no problem. That's great. But that's one. So, okay, now good. Now you have a system. Now you know, okay, now what kind of activities can we do? Right? What kind of activities? Well, Roger Federer, junior Roger Federer, tell me some of the activities that you would like to practice when you're practicing tennis. You know, maybe some shots,
maybe my
forehand.
stance.
Yeah, forehand
maybe my
moves.
Stance, maybe a couple of shots like service.
Yeah, so why can't you do that 30 seconds for 30 seconds at a time nonstop? Boom, 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 and then 60-second break, 90-second break. It's up to you. I would recommend we going 90 seconds in the beginning. 30-second non-stop activity, light interval training, right? You're burning calories, and you're learning how to practice a move. You know what I mean? So that's one cycle done. Second cycle, another move, other side. You know, that's a different second move. So imagine you're doing that, right? 8 times a day. And now your body is getting strong and durable. Yeah, I know you're like, you know what, you're not working out rest of your body yet. That's fine. It's not for that yet. You're getting at least developing the practice of you're doing this every day. You're learning how to practice a skill every day. Now when you go, sorry?
Yeah, so I have a quick question. So, you know, like when we're like, let's say like I'm practicing my forehand.
Yeah.
So does this mean like in light interval training, you do like 30 seconds of forehand, take a 60-second break?
Yeah.
I mean, you basically do a couple of iterations and that is one set, or you do like one set of forehand for 30 seconds, take a break, then another set of like backhand, 30-second break, another set of service, 30-second break. Like which one?
Second one.
Second
Each
one,
individual move you can combine if you like when you get better understanding with. But what I say, in order to get proficiency, just do one movement at a time. So that way you become really good at it. And then do the same other hand, right, to equalize it. So that way you have proper looking shoulders, right? So I would say, you know, do one hand 30 seconds and the other hand 30 seconds. And then again, this is right. If you're a basketball,
you don't need it. You wouldn't need even like equipments, right? You could do it with like a piece of paper rolled up,
it's
like
up
a
to
small
you.
stick.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. Honestly, I would say, I mean, like think like this. This is the way I look at it. Invest on the things you enjoy to do, right? You've been investing in a lot of time in your future and things like that. Think the future will be beneficial than your current. Well, if you're currently not happy, your future is not gonna look any better. You know what I mean? So invest in your time to look better, to look healthier, to look forward to doing something. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have, if you're a tennis player and you want to be a tennis player one day and you don't have a racket, well, I, you know what I mean? I don't need to tell anything more any more than that. You know what I mean? You need to come to a conclusion of what do you really prioritize? Do you even care about getting into shape? And you know what I mean? Use these
Sure.
sports for you to get what you want. You know what I mean? Don't look at sports as, oh, somebody else is, that's how they are, that's why they play. No, use these sports, use these sports and gaming to get yourself into shape. You know what I mean? That's what I exactly did with basketball. I did not like basketball in the beginning. I was like, man, I just looked at these guys like, oh my God, what they do is so cool, right? And then their bodies look, man, it looks amazing, right? I like, I feel like they're always in shape, and their durability, I can see the way they get hit all the time and they come back. So I just made a goal for myself to invest in, looking like that. But I would say, like, if you're a basketball player, get a ball. And then you don't even need to have a basketball like a rim. You can go outside and in the concrete, you can practice dribbling moves and things like for 30 seconds. Well, who's stopping you from doing that? That's how I started. Actually, I would go for 30 seconds and shoot for 30 seconds nonstop, right? And then break. Anybody can do this, right? And then what do you do? Okay, so should I not do like squats and push-ups? Man, if you're thinking about it, then great. Then you should be doing them. Why can't you get your chest bit a little bit better?
Exactly.
Now input that 30-second, another slot into that. Say that's how I started. I started to introduce burpees. I started to introduce a workout from LeBron James. You see, that's all it needed. If you want to work out, if you have weights, 30 seconds. That's what you need to get better, play better as well. You can see when you look at it, if something is not feel like weak, go work on that. This is how you can, and then accumulate as many cycles as you can a day. I would say in the beginning, don't go too much though. First 2 months, maybe max out about 3 cycles. If you feel like, oh man, I want to do more, you're getting excited about it, okay, expand it. But don't be ever doing it to the point that you cannot do it tomorrow.
So I have a quick question. So each cycle, does it have like multiple reps inside it, or just like
multiple reps?
Okay, so
yeah. So basically, say that you're practicing like a forehand move. Is it forehand move?
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah.
So you do that forehand move 30 seconds. You can get like a timer on your phone or app, right? Like an interval timer, and then you say 30 seconds. You do it, right? And then break 90 seconds. It's a long break in the beginning, I know, because it gives your body enough time to learn how to recover. You might wonder, actually, I'll tell you about why the 30-second and the 90-second break is needed. And I think that's very useful in the beginning. But to answer your question, one move, 30-second continuous. You don't need to count the reps. No rep counting.
So just only once, that's it. And then 90 seconds break, then the next thing you do the same thing, or you go to another
anything
one?
You want. I would say if you want more of training, say go back to the same thing, but do it rigorously a little bit. You know what I mean? Not to the point that you are exhaust too fast, but complete the move properly. If you don't,
but at least 3 of them, of them a day.
Begin. Because sometimes when you even do 3, you might feel sore next day. If you feel sore, you have done too much. If you feel sore the next day, you have done too much. Reduce. But if you feel like, no, you can go more, I can take this, or I know how to recover my body by eating this, eating that, I'll teach you how to even do those things, right? If you know how to do that, then we can say, no, you can increase the activity, you know what I mean? But, that's more later on the talk, I would say. But in the beginning, 30 seconds nonstop. You can
Right. So I have like one other thing. So let's say like, the idea is to do at least 3 cycles a day. And then in the beginning. So what happens like if you do more, that's great. But what if you like can't do more? Like there's one day you're feeling sick, you do like 1 cycle. Is that acceptable? Okay. So as long as something happens.
Yeah. If you can, like, to be honest, bro, if you're feeling sick, don't work out. Right. Because if you're feeling feverish, if you're feeling cold, or if you have a cold, you can really see how much. This is the thing, right? How you need to really, like, not you, as you know, anybody need to really answer how much work does 3 cycles need, right? That's literally 1.5 minutes of working out.
Yep.
Right.
How hard is that from like?
Yeah, you see, that's what a lot of people have the hardest time is even doing that. right? Even that minimum, but you see what you're doing though, when you do it, it creates continuous request your body to get into activity all the time,
Mm.
right? This is one of the things, because if you continuously, yeah, why can't I do it for 30 seconds, for 30 seconds, at least one or two, three times? What's in my mind? This is the invitation that I ask people. What is so important to you more than your body that you don't have about seven minutes to do a very simple program, a routine every day? You know, like
I
this
think
is
they don't mean what they say. I don't think that they really care about
no,
their
they
body.
don't. They don't care, and then they don't. Many people don't know what's good for them. They don't know what's actually, you know, helps their personal interests. They have ideas, but they don't know 100%. So that's
Hmm.
why I mean, like, if they do, like I said to you before, I shouldn't be the one who's talking about the body and get people into shape. I shouldn't be the one who's doing that. They should be doing that and coming and telling me. So most people don't know what they're doing and saying, and that's why even something like simple as this should be followed every day, but it's not. They think every workout needs to be exhausting. Every workout needs to be done till failure, right? Why? Because they see that on TV and think you need
Hmm.
to become an athlete every time. Well,
Right.
if you follow athletes, if you study them over and over again, LeBron James doesn't work out like that every day. You know what I mean? The professionals don't work out like that every day. For them, it's play. They work out all the time, not hard though, which is a very, very important distinction people need to understand. They work out all the time because it's fun for them, including me. I work out all the time. I test out different moves that I can do, right? Different, because when I'm playing basketball, different move of basketball I can do, right? I work out because it's fun. It's not intense. It's not intense. It's intense when it's sometimes we're looking for intensity because we need to come out. That's when I go play outside with my boys. You know what I mean? I get it
Hmm.
out, prepare myself. Even, like even when I'm doing stretching, doing yoga, that's a sport for me. I'm still playing the game. People think going playing the game is playing the game. No,
Hmm.
recovering is playing the game. When you're eating proper food, that's playing the game.
That's
Oh,
true. So
you
it's
know?
it's an interesting thing you said there. So like
Mhm.
one aspect that I think like stretching is really important. So especially like a good example is someone like me who's trying to start to do these things.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
very rarely like stretching becomes a priority. Like we
Right.
just want to go in and get started, right?
Right.
So what's your take on that? Like what are the kind of simple stretching, or like what are things you could do to warm up before
Mhm.
you like start any activity, or does that even matter in the beginning?
No, that's a great question. So one of the things I would say, all stretching is massage for me. You see,
Mm.
uh, the way I look at stretching and yoga, I never look at
Mhm.
it as a workout that I need to complete. You see, that's the perception I have, is that stretching for me, yoga and stretching, there's no difference for me because it's the movements I perform for stretching is essentially like downward dog, cobra and Ashtanga moves and things like that. So I don't have a particularly what people consider stretching. Any form of stretching in that sense, it would be what I would be massage for me. It's the approach I take, the way I do stretching and things like, it's never to complete the stretch. If something I feel like is tight, I feel like I will take out 10 minutes a day just to do the stretching. You see what I mean? Because it's a massage for me. If I'm on the bed and if something is not feeling right, I'm gonna pull my leg up and then slowly work on my body. Because again, I'm looking at my body as something I'm creating and building together with me. You see what I mean? How that mindset's
Mm.
coming into play now. So I say, yeah, stretching is important as much as you think it's important for you. Do you want to do it? Do you enjoy doing it? Well, do it to the
Mhm.
point that you enjoy doing it. Maybe it could be 1 minute a day, right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You can do it on your bed. You can say, okay, what's the best yoga poses out there in the world? Do that one move every day. If you feel great, you feel good. Okay, you don't like that one, go to the next one. This is how I go through activity that I like. So this is why I wanted to introduce a concept, what I call um, the cookie jar, right?
Mhm.
Where all my interesting activity, all the activity that I enjoyed ever do, I have a list of it. Now I have it; it's in my head, but initially I had it written down. Things like exercises that I like to do, burpees, battle ropes, dribbling skills, different moves, squat, everything I would love to do, I would say. Then I would all of that out of that, I would do the best one sometimes that I like to do at that time. So a lot of the times I ended up having a lot of fun doing, because it involves like the 30-second cycles involve all the activity I like to do. You see what I mean? So you ask me, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. So now I'm looking forward to playing in the summer, and then I could be even just practicing a simple move. You can be imagining kicking my ass. While you practicing for 30 seconds.
Next summer, man.
Yeah, right. And then now what you can do? You put a little bit of music on. You know what I mean? Imagining you're playing the game while you're doing it. Why can't we do any of these things? We can easily do these things. Easily. It doesn't need to be just going on a treadmill and just going and like doing nothing and meaningless act. Nah, go build, accumulate as many repetitions as you time. Like, in the beginning, go for 3. Once you get 3, go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then see if you can go 20 a day. But 20 right away? No. 20, all 20 at the same time? No. 7, 7, 7. That's done. 21. Right? So that's the way you accumulate these. That's this kind of activity. It works on your DNA. And then you're like, well, how does it work on your DNA? Well,
Yeah.
It's again my perception, again my understanding, my research. It says that if you have continuous requests from a specific cells or a specific system, it will turn itself to provide what is requested. Right. So for example, it's like work on how your body respond to environmental stress, the reason you get calluses and things like that. If you have a need to get calluses, your body will automatically produce the DNA or change itself to create the cells, DNA, to produce the cells that are needed. So what is DNA again? Just instructions, right? At the end of the day, DNA is just instruction. And then cells is the byproduct of that instruction. So if you're getting calluses, that means you're in your system, the DNA that is responsible for producing calluses is operating, activated. Well, it's the same thing when you're working out every day. You see, a little bit of working out every day initiate the DNA that provides a recovery and building and recovery and building and recovery and building. It becomes a process, become continuous. The DNA becomes a predominant activator or operant DNA system within your own body now. So if you get a little bit of hurt, that thing is automatically recovering on the recovery mode. You get a little bit of a fever, something. Guess what? Your body is activated and doing already. You don't need to get this vitamin C, this and that. I don't believe they will work. It won't work unless you have the DNA that is responsible for healing your body, right? Unless you have the cells in your body that does the healing, that does the recovery.
So these activities like automatically help your body like get those cells
exactly
in your DNA imprint, like without necessarily like getting a fever or something or getting sick and then
you will get a
trying
fever
to like find
and then
that
immediately get over it. That's my hypothesis, that if with this, because it's the same thing when you go out there, right? You get hurt, and then if you have been working out, you have like nutrition and everything, you just continually trying to recover everything. Because what you're doing initially, you've been building a durable body that is saying, we need to work out, and your body's like, okay, we're responding, making the fuel system very efficient, recovery system very efficient, because your body doesn't know when you're going to go work out again. So it's continuously recovering. But because you're not going till failure, remember why I told you difference between high interval training versus light interval training? Because you're not doing high intervals, you're not wasting your body to the end. You have always reserves that are, it's not depleted, always recovering, but you're always working, always building a little bit. You see? Because
1% at a time.
1% at a time. But you imagine how much accumulative moves you have over time, how much body will be fluid, because the amount of, and then you do it over and over again, your tendons will be a lot stronger, and then plus you won't feel like crap all the time because you're not overworking your body and needing to recover. You're overtaxing the body every time you put it to the end, right? And needs to come back to the normal again. Why would you do that to anybody? Right? Just because you want to lose weight? Nah, that's the wrong perspective. That's a wrong perspective. I would say, no, work with your body to build a better body, right? Comes back to that. So the light interval training is, that's what I'm a big proponent of. And then that effect creates a necessary to continually recover. Even if you have a body that, get a sick or get a little bit of injury, they are already working to get you into back into normal shape. So
I
this
think
is,
this pretty much like answered our original question, right? Like, I
yeah.
mean, for people who are struggling with motivation,
Mm.
people are struggling with like low energy, all of
Mhm.
that, like, it's kind of like I don't know whether it's the right thing to say, but like habit forming, right? Good habit forming through these repetitive
It is
activities.
habit forming, absolutely. But I would say it comes to a point now that we need to become a better decision makers rather than just a mere habit formers. You see what I
What do you
mean?
mean
Like,
by that?
so because we think habits are the most important thing. In my
Mm,
opinion, decisions are most important things, right? Habits will
right.
happen automatically if you continue to do them, right? But if you have wrong habits that brings you not happy, doesn't make you happy, your habits have now put you on a wrong path, right? So
Right,
people can
right.
say, they can like, oh, I need to work out 20 minutes a day and then do only treadmill. And then ask them 6 months go by, they're like, yo, what happened to your habit? Where is your results? Like, oh, I don't know. Well, did you learn any skill at the process? No. What did you do? Oh, I just listened to music when I was in trouble. Well, why couldn't you have just practiced a shot or dribbling move in the moment? So what I'm saying is, you need to also become better decision maker. If you're going to put the body to use, why don't you learn a skill, right? Why don't you be able to do something? If you're like martial arts, for example, learn to, learn to defend, not that the people are attacking you. It's
Hmm.
easily a skill that you can learn how to do punch for 30 seconds, right?
It's a much more incentivized way of doing things than just like,
Absolutely.
just doing it for the sake of like, getting fit or sake of losing weight. Like it's not something that will really motivate you.
Yeah. So now
And
answer, what's more enjoyable? But why aren't you doing the
mhm.
most enjoyable thing when you're in front of you? So that's what I mean. People are not better decision makers when the things that are more enjoyable is right in front of their face. They have like, squats racks and a lot of weights and treadmills. While they have YouTube, they have their amazing teachers that are teaching them how to do such cool dance moves they can practice,
Mhm.
martial arts moves, soccer moves, tennis moves. Why aren't they using that?
So
Right?
making like working out and like staying healthy like more fun, right? More
Well, why shouldn't
fulfilling.
it should be only fun? Why aren't you
Hmm.
doing if it's not fun? This is the whole problem, right? People try to do just like they try to even make their whole working out like work.
Put so
You
much
know?
stress, so
Yeah,
much
why?
pressure
It's so
on top of
simple.
all the existing
Yeah.
pressure that they're going through.
So I told you, what, 60 pounds in 8 months. I plan to lose it in about 5 years. But why? Game completely changed. You see, that's why I gave you what I did, because this is what you will do. What I did, anybody can do. I don't doubt.
Hmm.
I used to doubt. I was like, nah, I have special skills. No, I don't. Anybody can do what I do. But the thing is, how they do it makes a huge difference. And what they think about their body and think about themselves makes a huge difference. Very important. Not, oh, I'm a shitty person, so I need to lose this much. Oh, I look ugly, I need to do this to look like this. Or I'm like 300 pounds, so I need to, and in order to be accepted by society and my, and then I, no, if you go in that approach, I cannot guarantee success for you. I can guarantee success if you say, you
Hmm.
know what, I need to build a better body and I'm willing to take time to learn that how to do it properly. It will be
That's
guaranteed.
very important. That's very important. I think like especially in this day and age we live with like quick gratification.
Mhm.
It's a very important skill, I think, to persevere, to stick with things, do it for the long run, and
But
also make it enjoyable at the same time.
you see, that's a very important. I want to make a very important distinction for that too, because you see, some people do it because they need to persevere. They persevere even when they don't have to. That's a big problem, because then you do it because you're hurting, even though you don't want to do it because you just told other people you're a persevering guy. It's a difficult position in your, if you don't like the enjoy the activity that you do, to persevere on something that you don't enjoy doing. Persevere
Hmm.
as long as is you like to do it. If you don't like to do it, move on to another activity. Don't persevere just because other people are calling you a quitter, which is a
Hmm.
wrong understanding. Then you will be stuck by their belief systems and your
Okay.
unnecessary belief system. Yes, perseverance is important, but become a builder, become a creator. That's more important. Build better things for yourself. Build better things for other people, starting from your body, because that's the house you live in. It's
Yeah.
not built. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, it's perseverance. It's important in terms of. It's not important in terms of the activity. It's important what is it doing to you though, right? If it's
Right.
persevering and making you feel like shit, it's not doing. Perseverance is not going to help you. You feel like, for me, I like to persevere until I have an arena, that runs football, like basketball, camps and stuff like that, right? And then I want to be able to play with, like, NBA players one day, not in the NBA, but be able to do that. Am I persevering because it's like, I'm gonna do because perseverance is important, or am I persevering because that goal is very exciting to me and then I'm willing to put it what it takes, right?
Mm.
Very different. I'm not persevering for perseverance sake because I'm unworthy. I'm persevering because I have an exciting future that I'm looking forward to.
And that's like the biggest motivation to keep going. I mean,
Yeah,
forget perseverance, it becomes like almost fun.
there you go. So where is the
You're
perseverance
enjoying the
begin with?
process.
So when they say perseverance, how much perseverance is important to a person, that the person, when they find the activity itself is fun and joyous. So that's why I ask you, well, do, like, why do you work
There's no
out?
perseverance then.
I don't need, well, I don't have
Mm,
perseverance. I just do
mm,
this is what I mean, right? It's the fact that we hold on to these, like, fake labels as perseverance when we know some things are persevering will not bring us any happiness, right? This is why I continue to ask you guys, pick activities that you enjoying doing.
mm.
That's why I brought, martial arts, and work, look for an idol that you want to model after, or, your body model after. Doesn't matter who you pick, just begin something like that, because then it gives you something like, to work towards. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's one of the key things I would say. That's why your joyousness needs to come into thing. There's, like, I bought for you, like Roger Federer. Even I remember you talking about Cristiano. You might not think, bro, that I'm never gonna look like that. Yeah, that's your opinion. I don't care. I know you can look like, if you follow specific principles, I know it's gonna happen. But the thing is, how much confidence do you have about yourself? I don't know. But that's the one that a lot of people don't move on from. It's like, oh, I want to look like that, but I don't think I can ever. Well, and then what did that mind to do? Though I should not even do these activities. No point. No, leave us who's there. Thank him for where because he did a lot of work to where he got. Have you put in that work? No. Build it. Build your work.
Mhm.
Get to know what he's doing.
True, true. I mean, we
And then
we
build your
learn so
program,
many
build your
like,
routine.
yeah, I mean, we learn about so many unnecessary stuff, right? Like, and then,
Mm.
why can't you like do the same thing with this? Like, go look at like what they do, read up a little bit more, improve your
Yeah,
knowledge on those things, because
yeah,
yeah, it's not gonna like it's not like learning something for work and that's gonna bring you like more money and power and whatnot. But this is like do the same thing for something you enjoy,
yeah.
something that'll be more valuable than like work and money and things like that. So yeah.
Which is, I mean, if you look at it, which is, it transitions to what we talk about, how I've been able to, like, build website and get a lot of other skills too. It's like joy. I just seek activity that brings me a lot of joy. So I know it comes to, it's the same thing with the activity when it comes to exercise, but you see,
Mm,
it applies to other aspect of your life more than you think. When you can, you will have a lot more joy and a lot more success, in my opinion, over time, when you look to build skills with yourself, and then be able to show other people and build things that are valuable to others using exact those skills,
mm,
right? And then be able to share those skills, and then be able to help them build more stuff with it. Well, same with your body, build it for yourself first, then help somebody else build a better body. I'm a big
yeah.
proponent of what you call golden rule. You know,
What is
what
that?
you so what you do unto others is done upon you. What you done upon yourself is done upon to others, whether you want it or not. This is the important. People think, oh, it's a choice that will happen. For me, I feel it's a law. So if you take care of yourself, I very you're if you're a person, I feel like you have these urges to share how you got into shape, right? And then if you share that, you have, by laws of the nature, whatever, you get the same thing back. I can give you, I don't know how, an example in terms of, like, um, how this was, but not necessarily, I would say, you know, principle like ideas wise, but it's something that I experience myself, like giving things how it comes back in terms of like, there was this kid that I was, who was playing basketball, and he had, he didn't have proper shoes, right? He was wearing like, and his shoes were, his like feet was getting crushed. So I was like, man, like, bro, I don't have I haven't had opportunity to like, buy somebody shoes or anything like that, man. I feel like this is a ideal person, because if we had the money, and because I saw how difficult he would wear no shoes when he would play basketball with me sometimes. That's how bad yeah, but he still would come and play with me, right? I was like, man, like, I feel like I need to get this guy shoes. And obviously at that time I wasn't really good at basketball or anything like that, right? So I was just, just getting to know and things like that, and getting my ass kicked in basketball most of the time. But even as like, what, this guy needs it. You know what I mean? Whatever. I think, he needs it. It's okay if I can't play. I don't know if I'm going to continue to play and stuff like that. I first gave him my shoes, didn't fit him, So I bought him new shoes. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So 3 months goes by. I'm dropping weight like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping, and my basketball is starting to go. And the same guys that I'm playing basketball with, they're like, dude, how are you playing like this? I saw you how you were in the summer. What's happening to you? I don't know, bro. So I'm not gonna say they're related, but I can see by helping and guiding others, by giving things, it does something to your own mind that enables it. I don't know if you're physiologically or nature changes you and things like that. I cannot guarantee, because I can't necessarily tell you that. I can feel those things do have an effect overall in the nature, because we are, I believe in a oneness principle. But I think when you treat your body the way I've been talking about, take care of like a builder, and you take care of other people's body, because you don't want them to get hurt and things like that, so their poor feet can be protected and things like that. Nature will find a way to take care of your body.
And then I think like it's not like you were sitting on your ass, like you were still like, reading and learning and practicing your skills, showing up every day, all the repetitive, interval training and everything you've talked about. So you've been doing that also, but I think it definitely accelerated your process.
Yeah, it made, what I would say, though, for interesting reason, it was easier for me to do those activities. Unlike before, like doing yoga became easier to do. Doing interval training became easier to do. Doing different moves became easier to do. Things just started to become easier to do. It became more simple, more clear, and simpler. I mean, easier to do, sorry. Simpler, clearer, and easier to do. And because that's what I thought, that's what I decided to give to people. Give them things that they can do. Give them things that are easy to do and simple enough, that works. Give golden rule, right? What you give unto others, you get back. You know what I mean? So that's why you give them what delivers results for them. Then you see whether results come back for you or not. It does come back. For me, it's a law. The best you give to others, the best you get back. Same thing. There's a reason why I give this advice. I don't have any other advice about the body that I can give you that will give you results. For me, that's why I have the conviction that I have in this, is because it will make your body durable for sure. What you do with the durable body is up to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you want to help, no, Dulik, now my body is, I want to go to the next level. I want to go to phase 2, 3, 4, 5. There are phases that I can take you to along your body, right? I would say the first phase is this. First and second phase, I just talked to you about.
And I think that's the most important thing. You need to get the basics, the fundamentals right. And then you can easily scale.
Then you just only repeat the fundamentals. Because once you get the first 2, 1, 2, it's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all the time. 1, 2, you might go, well, what is the 1, what is the 2? 1 is the changing of the mentality about turning into a builder. 2 is the actually repetition. You're building like, you're doing the repetition like a builder. That's why the first time I just talked about the first week, just only the mind stuff.
Yeah.
You need to look at your body as a mind, the builder. Body as a builder, and help it get bigger and better and better. And the other aspect is introducing the idea. So you just keep going, thinking about that, and doing that every time you do it. And that's what you have to do. And then when activities might become more complex and combined, but these are the fundamentals. Yeah.
That's great,
And
man. That's great. I think this was really, I think this is a really solid, discussion we had today, and I
nice.
think it definitely covered like a lot of the basics on
Hmm.
how to get started. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure, like there's a lot more questions, follow-ups, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try it out definitely
Those
myself
are
for
sometimes
the
just
next
they have
couple
the
of weeks.
follow-up questions have the real juice, right?
Yeah,
Real nitty-gritty detail stuff, right? Like I know we didn't get too much in terms of how to design a program. I've given like what I would say the open framework,
the
right? You can
skeleton of
yeah,
exactly,
you can slot anything into it now, and then
exactly,
design it.
exactly.
You might have questions like, oh, how many times should you, like I tell, like, yeah, start with 3 in the beginning, right? And then add on. You can do it multiple times a day, 2 times a day
Hmm.
in the afternoon and night. I do that. I don't work out in the morning. So I do afternoon and night. Nice, long enough one in the afternoon and then another one, you can do it in nighttime if you how you feel. But what you do is completely up to you, right?
Hmm.
You might not find, oh, I'm not losing weight right away from it. No, it's in the beginning, it's about durability. First and second phase is about durability. Then we switch on to okay, more high intensity activity like mixed martial arts that does a little bit of jumping and things like that. I can introduce and things like that. Your body will
Hmm.
accept those activities more when it's durable. Does that make
Right.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff. So
We'll
let's
uh, we'll call it a day,
continue having this.
huh?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
see
we'll continue this. So,
what questions
like,
come
what
up.
I'm thinking is maybe I'm going to go try these things out
Mhm.
for a week, and actually we will see how the results. I'm already doing it for the
Nice.
last 3 days,
Nice.
and like yesterday I didn't actually like really work out. Like I did a lot of like gardening work for almost an hour. I was like drenched.
That's okay.
So I'm taking
Yeah,
it easy today,
that's okay.
recovering.
That I would be considered part of your workout, but you always work up welcome to do more, but doesn't
Hmm.
have don't have. If you consider that, that's perfect. That's people don't even do that, right? So that would I would be
Yeah,
considered a workout a day, and then next day come again, come back,
true, true.
keep coming. It's just people give up too fast. That's the thing.
I know, man. And it's easy to give up when you do it the wrong way as well. Like in terms of like uh, burning yourself out, like doing it till you like drop. I mean that's sort of
That's
an attitude that even I had like when I was working out, when I was playing
me
like
too.
100%, 150%, but you can't do it all the time, right? Like you do it once, you need a lot of time to recover. So.
I can tell you, yeah, even like we yesterday we played 2 days ago. Yesterday we played like 3-on-3 very rough basketball. I didn't go play today. I'm not gonna go play. I need that time to recover because again, I know for me it's hard for me not to go play now. But my
Mhm.
sports, are also recovering. Learning
Sure.
how to learn. Okay, this equipment. My body needs recovery right now. Learning where to put your body. That's why I told you initially. Like we need to become better decision makers, more than just developing unreasonable habits and what I would call useless habits. It's
Hmm.
better to like even stop. You see, someone like me need to learn to stop working out, even though my habits telling me to go kick in and go into action.
Yep. Yep.
You see what I mean? So that's what I mean. For someone like you, it has to be other way around. You see, you need to tell it to okay, go to activity a little bit. So once you get that, then
Mm-hmm.
you will have the opposite problem eventually. Too much
Right.
activity.
Right. True.
But
True.
again, that's
True.
what I told you. Become a better decision maker as a habit, and then that
Right.
becomes a better way to handle your life.
All right, man.
Um,
Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll have another chat very soon.
cool, cool. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Want to like stop the recording?